Please welcome 3XR.
Good evening. Hello, everyone. Can you guys hear me in the back all right? Yes, mic check. Good. All right, great. Well, again, I'm excited to be out here. My name is Mike Festa. I feel like I know a lot of faces in the audience. It's great to be in such an innovative building in a great city. I have recently started my new company, 3XR, and here tonight to tell you a little bit about what we've been up to and let you meet the team a little bit. So let's jump into the team slide. So we get 8 of us now, 9 starting on Monday, and we're continuing to grow. I'll have a slide at the end talking about some open positions, but this is a partial recruiting pitch here on our part. We're located just outside of the city, north of Boston, in the great town of Wakefield. And this is our team. So we got a lot of the guys in the back, guys and gals, so wave back there, thanks team. And we'll be around all night. So talk to the team, but let me tell you more about what we actually do. So 3XR is at its core kind of a content creation company for this emerging space of AR, VR, MR. We're going with the XR term. I think it's a little shorter and catchier. But essentially, before this, I was at Wayfair and realized that the challenge, one of the challenges is making apps, but the bigger, longer challenge is actually creating the content to populate those apps. Anecdotally at Wayfair, they sell more than 10 million products. And in the 2 years we were working at this, we digitized maybe 100,000 products, which is a lot, and it's still just 1%. So given that, we were able to cover 1% of an ever-changing inventory, in 2 years, I thought, this is a big problem, not just for, the Wayfairs of the world, but for all of retail. And so we're essentially creating a two-sided marketplace to empower brands to create content at scale. And so the cool thing about 3D content today is it's actually used everywhere. A lot of folks, see AR, especially the glasses, and they see the tech, and they think, wow, that's future, that's, 10 years out. A lot of you in the room know, especially if you've seen some of the PTC demos, that it actually is here and now. But beyond just the AR applications, there's actually a lot of great use cases today for 3D in general, whether that's you're producing 2D imagery, which is one of the things that Wayfair was doing for all of their photography, or you're leveraging it for emerging ad opportunities. So in your Facebook friend feed now, you can click on a 3D link and see it in your space immediately. Through the web now, Shopify is enabling content owners to basically take their Shopify-enabled website and drop 3D content on there. So we're essentially seeing a lot more use cases for customers today, and over the next couple years, we believe that 3D content is going to become the must-have feature. As you think about these, XR experiences 10 years out, where everything is 3D, you obviously need content, but even in the short term, as consumers are seeing products on their mobile phones with mobile AR, it's one of those things where once you bought 1 or 2 products with it, you're going to continue to expect that for the rest of the products you're buying. But of course, as I spoke to, there's a content creation bottleneck right now. You have millions of products out there. Somewhere around 600 million is our current estimate of number of SKUs, individual products sold in the US today. And we believe that every product is going to need a digital twin. So in order to create these training experiences or the sales process, or even just hanging out in a virtual space, we need to create that 3D content. So I'm going to switch over to a quick video. It's just a short minute, but it'll just talk about the creation process. And I'm going to just step you through that. So let's see. There we go. So you get your traditional e-commerce website today, and we're basically taking in content from that company. They're providing imagery in CAD. This is a manual process right now. So a user is going to come in, they're going to draw up the shapes, and even if we have a CAD reference, we still need to kind of do some geometry manipulation. We have to build out textures and materials that look good in a photorealistic augmented reality experience. We enable the website with an AR badge, and then the user from their web viewer on their phone can just click into a 3D experience, and then they can drop that into their space. So this is basically, real scale, fairly accurate materials and colors, and lighting interaction that a consumer can see today. And so there's billions of devices that are capable of this, but I think most consumers aren't yet aware of that capability because of the lack of content. So our hope is to empower brands to basically bring these experiences to their customers. All right, back to the slides. There we go. All right, and so lastly, and perhaps most important before we get into questions, is that we're hiring. We're looking to fill several roles, Director of 3D Technology, a senior artist to basically manage our art team, an account executive, which is really just sales, so we need more sales reps to help get the product out to customers, and an engineering team, because to date I've been doing all the engineering work, and I'm having a baby anytime now, so we're looking forward to taking a little paternity leave. So we need some engineers to help support my work and help build the team. So thank you all for the time, and now we're going to jump into 5 minutes of Q&A. All right, go ahead.
Are you creating only hard goods like furniture and consumer products, or are you doing soft goods as well, like apparel?
Yeah, great question. So hard goods versus soft goods. So I assume you're thinking like clothing and other loose fitting items. So at the moment, we're focused more on two specific verticals that are hard goods. So furniture and appliances. There's a number of things we want to digitize eventually. But as far as where we're starting, it's in that space. Yep. Okay, so the question is revenue model and customer. So we have a SaaS-based subscription revenue model where a customer who would be a brand or a manufacturer would essentially come to us to help partner in digitizing their catalog. The sales process looks like a pilot to start with, so usually a month or two, so that we can model half a dozen or so products, maybe 2 dozen, depending on how big their inventory is and their interest. We run a short pilot and essentially prove the ROI metrics that's going to show that it's worth expanding into other categories. And then we continue on a monthly subscription that includes a certain amount of tiered pricing, basically a number of models to be produced per month. We believe that most brands and manufacturers have a cycle of products. They're constantly releasing new content, and they're going to want to kind of build out into these experiences. And so we believe that by showing them the ROI numbers, that they're going to continue to expand with us. Yeah.
Do you think you can be profitable, or are you profitable right now using this as a manual process?
Yeah, I think we can be. So right now, as we think about money in versus money out for the artist time, then yes, we are profitable in that regard. But from all the business operations and everything else, at the moment we're VC funded, and we're basically using the VC money to accelerate our growth. So given all the overhead and all the hiring we want to do, the plan for the next few years is to kind of continue that VC route versus more traditional bootstrapping. And that was actually a thing that I spent a good amount of time considering after leaving Wayfair last year. Is this something we want to try to grow from the ground up organically? And I believe there's a case to be made for that. But ultimately, we decided to go the VC route because I feel like the industry is moving so fast that we want to really be able to capture the momentum, build the team, build the product, even ahead of bringing in all the revenue, which is starting to grow and follow. Yeah. Yeah. So, my role at Wayfair, running Wayfair Next, we had a team that was looking at 3D scanning. And so there's a lot of interesting, promising technology from either photogrammetry or even handheld scanning process, as well as CAD conversion tools that can kind of simplify. So yes, I think there is a future of automation. However, I don't think it's going to be completely automation, right? So as we build out our talent network of creators, we believe that those creators are going to be empowered by technology rather than replaced by it. So as we think about workflow speed-ups, AI can help, for example, finding materials. So if we have a large material library of 1 million different materials, and we can use AI to find the best matched material, that gives the artist a lot of time savings because they're not manually searching for things by keyword. So there's opportunities, I think, with AI to really enhance the process. But ultimately, it is kind of a creative endeavor, and the artists in the space are going to today, work on creating individual assets, but maybe in 10 years they're going to be creating entire cities or virtual environments where people are kind of spending their time. Yeah.
I have 2 questions.
Okay.
One, does the customer have a choice of what formats the assets are sent out?
Mhm.
And 2, is there any innovation involved or rigging so that the same detection model can move?
Great. All right. Yeah. So 2-part question. First question is what formats do we provide? And the answer is really kind of any of the above. Our primary asset outputs are GLTF and USDZ for web-ready assets that are a few megabytes. However, there are still standards for like Amazon, for example, that are looking for FBX, and so we can provide those formats. It's really just a matter of converting them out. We use Blender behind the scenes as our kind of like master asset creation tool, and we're building out procedural materials that allow us to create infinite resolution of textures depending on the platform and application. All right, that was the first part. Sorry, second part was?
Actually, follow up, you showed UV maps.
UV maps, yes.
And the second question is, do you rig or animate
Oh yeah, animation. Right. So we actually have done that a little for a customer. I would say the technology to support it on the front end is still lacking, at least from a web technologies perspective. There's looping animation support typically, but we've done some partnerships with other bespoke app development shops that basically took our animations and turned them into interactions. Yes.
For a company, what's the difference between hiring you guys versus using the CAD file that has already been designed?
Yep.
They can also render.
Yeah, and so we'll actually, so to differentiate that, we'll take CAD input, and the reason that we'll do with the value we bring to the CAD essentially is that we reduce the complexity of the file, and then we make the materials photorealistic for an AR web experience. And so you think about like traditional CAD design, you have a lot of parts and components and screws, and the tools are getting better at exporting, like let's say a decimated version of that. But you still end up with a lot of different meshes and materials that aren't necessarily photorealistic or optimized. So our process, kind of turns it into a single mesh with a single, UV texture space that takes advantage of, PBR materials essentially. Yeah.
Hey,
All right, last question.
do you think you would make your own version of Blender?
Good question. Will we make our own version of Blender? I don't think so in the foreseeable future. We're leveraging the large open source nature of Blender as a tool, and we're providing add-ons that we're going to, plan on releasing for free to give back to the community. All right.
So with those add-ons, would you simplify the Blender interface at all? Because I know Blender can be used for just about anything in the space because it's just so massive at this point.
Yeah. So real quick on Blender, I would say like it's a great tool, especially with the 2.8 release. They did a nice job redoing all the UI. Our add-ons focus more on workflow optimizations and tools. But I believe there's a bright future for that as a platform. And if you haven't tried Blender and you're interested in 3D, definitely check it out. And check out 3xr.com if you want to try any of these demos. You can see some of our products on your phones. Pretty good chance, probably 95% chance that your phone is compatible with a web viewer today that we have on there. So thank you very much, everybody. And I'm going to pass it back to Chris.